Hey everyone, I just got back from a ride. Bike's a little bit dirty and thought I'd show you how I clean my bike. We'll walk through step by step. Should only take 5 minutes. Not a deep clean. If your bike's really dirty, you might want to do something else. Just make sure everything's okay and good for your next ride. First things first, what I like to do is grab my hose. If you've only got a bucket of water or a spray bottle even, just to loosen up all that grub, the mud you've collected, all the dirt. Doesn't need to be that high pressure. Don't make it a massive blast. It'll take some of the grease out of the bearings. I like to just give it a good shower over and we'll agitate it later. This is just the first step. After you've given it all a rinse, what I like to do is go through with a coarse brush like this. Nothing too bad that will hurt your paint job or anything like that. Just give maybe a brush down to the wheels that have all that real caked on stuff. That's where you can use a bit higher pressure just to make sure all the big bits are off. That's our first thing that we're going to be doing. You can use this on the pedals. If you've got kind of rock stuck in the bits of them, just get it somewhat clean and it'll be a bit looser, so now we can get to the real cleaning bit. Next, you want to grab some soap, washing detergent. I use car wash. It doesn't affect the paint, but I doubt washing detergent does anything else to the paint either, so it's good just to grab any kind of soap, put it in a bucket and make it all frothy, and then get a sponge, anything, and we're going to start working on the bike. Like I said, I like using a sponge and something like this for the gears, just to get in there. I like to start on the gears because it's not too nasty and I don't want to use degreaser every single time I ride. I'm just going to use the soap for everywhere. Worst comes to worst, I might use a bit of WD-40 just to really help that grind, but normally not. So I'll take some of this and go in with the soap in all the grooves just to make sure everything's clean, and really just spreading that soap everywhere on the frame, and we'll let it sit, which is a good thing to do so the soap can really do its work. Make sure you don't miss anywhere. Take a walk around the bike. If you have it leaning up on something, I've got it on a rack here. If you got it leaning up, just flip it around. Make sure you don't try to do both sides from one side, because you will miss stuff, and when it's all nice and dried off, you have these spots of mud everywhere. So make sure you give it a good soap in all the grooves. You can try to get under the headset. Just be creative and make sure you've got soap everywhere, and then give it a little rest. Next, for the fun part, we're going to wash all that soap off, and hopefully all that grime will come off with it. Get your hose again, get your damp towel, whatever you've got, and start hosing it down. This will hopefully get the rest of the mud off, any things that was left there throughout your ride. Make sure you do well with the, make sure you give a real good clean to all the gears in the back. Don't go too aggro with the high pressure, just nice little wash and it should all fall off. If there's anything you missed, you can go back on with a sponge or a brush and just try to get all those little last bits of mud off. If it's looking good, I think you're pretty well good to go. Last thing we'll have to do is re-lube it, because lube would have come off on the chain. Once we put the soap on, the lube would have slowly come off. If you don't have any lube, or if you just re-lubed your bike, maybe you don't have to. Brand new chains don't normally need lube because they've already been lubed at the factory, but if you do, we should re-lube it. Chain lube, and you also got fork lube. Fork lube, which is this one here. Chain lube, wet or dry, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you think is best. Throughout this process, you want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with your bike. While you're cleaning, you can have a look around, zip ties, loose screws, make sure everything's tight, and then you should be good to go. What I like to do at the end of my clean is drop the bike on the ground, not that high, just a little bit gently, and all the water should fall off. Otherwise, you can use a chamois or something like this. Hopefully something that won't deposit too many fibers onto the bike as it's just been cleaned. Microfiber cloth is always good, and give that a nice dry down. You can kind of use it to get in between the grooves, and your bike should be good to go. I like to have two kind of chamois. You've got a purple one for the chain and the drivetrain, and the yellow one for the frame. This just helps with cross-contamination. You don't want your chain to go in storage wet, so it's always good to just take off any extra lube you had on, or water when you're cleaning the chain with this. In no way do you have to like or subscribe, but if you like stuff like this, I'll do more of it. Tell me what you thought below. Any questions, anything that you think I'm doing wrong, please tell me. Awesome, have a good day.